I talk about heritage preservation and how important that is. Central High School is a really good example of when I talk about preservation, I'm not talking about putting something in a time capsule or flash freezing it so that it never alters, never changes. Life goes on. History happened in the past, but our understanding of it happens today. And so, in that sense, history is always changing because our understanding of it's changing. And the same thing's true of heritage sites, historic sites like Central High School. The students who go to Central High today can't really imagine how it could have ever been legal for them to have been separated by law. But they do understand injustice. They do understand not being treated the same as somebody else. So that's the way that we have these issues that continue on. And I love the fact that the high school is still a high school today. I hope it's always a high school because it shows that dynamic with historic preservation. The outside of the school looks almost exactly like it did in 1927. A couple of extra memorials from different senior classes have been added. Trees have grown. There are now benches around the reflection pool that have the names of the Little Rock Nine on them. So there are minor changes that have been done, but the historic integrity of the building is intact. And it's intact even with an elevator being added, with Wi-Fi added just a couple of years ago for smart classrooms today. So there have been upgrades to meet the needs of current students, but we've maintained the historic integrity. It's difficult actually for the Little Rock Nine to walk back into that building where they experienced so much. Their getting into the school was just the beginning of their struggle in 1957 to be treated equally as students. And most of them, 8 of them, completed that school year under extreme stress, distress in many ways. There were segregationists among the student body inside, among some of the faculty. There were also faculty and students who supported them. The most were what the Nine call silent witnesses, people who did nothing to openly attack them or to openly assist them. And so it was a very challenging year for them. A lot of students going to Central today can identify with that challenge of going to school every day, going to school the next day when somebody mistreated you the day before. And how do you find that courage to go back and walk in the halls again, knowing you're going to see that person again? So they can relate to what the Nine experienced. The maintaining a site like this, and we try to actually schedule our tours inside Central so that we're actually not caught in the hallways when 2,600 students change classes. But in some ways I like it when we get a little bit off schedule and visitors actually get to see those students, because it does remind them, oh yes, it is still a school, it is still going. Oh wow, imagine maintaining this 87-year-old building when there are still 2,600 students in it every day, walking the halls, tramping the walls, sitting in the chairs. When you sit in the auditorium on one of our tours, you're sitting in a seat that one of the Nine may have sat in 1957. Exact same seats. So it's and challenged to keep it as an active resource, one that's constantly being used. Sometimes we can't go sit in the auditorium with our visitors because the students there today are sitting in them. They have to just look through the window into the auditorium, but they see that it's a living site, that it's being occupied. But it also makes them aware, wow, that really makes it hard. It's not mothballed. It's not just frozen in time. It's a living site. And it's very challenging to maintain that. But every site is experiencing the conditions of the day. It may be a historic house or a historic farm. And even if it's not a working farm today, it's still experiencing the wind and the rain and the changes in temperatures, climatic changes occurring. And so maintaining those is always a present of trying to preserve the past under today's conditions. At Central, it's unique because it's still a school, but every national park site has to deal with those challenges.